It's Monday, the 12th day of July, 2021, and it's Monday night. Beyond the Headlines is live. I'm your host, Odette Campbell, and this evening I am very pleased. I am super proud. I am extremely happy to do something a little differently. Normally on Beyond the Headlines, we handle the politics and all the hard-hitting issues, but this evening we're delving into a subject which Team GBN has been proud to do something totally different on the Grenadian landscape and to bring positive change. I am pleased to present two GBN reporters and a member of the Grenadian National Council of the Disabled. So from my immediate left, I have Rena Pierre, the adorable Rena Pierre, and then next we have the great Christlina John, and we are accompanied by Mr. Clifford John. Don't think they're related, of the Grenadian National Council of the Disabled. A little later on, we'll be joined by Mr. Glen Alexander. He is a secondary school teacher, but more than that, he's a community activist. He's a mover and shaker. He'll be joining us a little later. So what we're talking about tonight, as a label on the screen, those of you watching us on television, says Untold Stories. GBN introduced the Untold Stories a little late last year, when we decided that it was time to go into our communities and dig. There are some people who they wouldn't make the spotlight because they're not talking about politics and getting elected and probably handing out lawsuits, but that's another story. So we have these untold stories. So you remember Lishon, that youngster that Grenada just fell in love with, and then there was Little Hope, and then there's Campbell, and the story just started to unfold, and then we saw that footballer. I can't wait to meet him in person. So this evening, let me first, we'll go to some of the stories, but first ask our team. Rena, you've been going and digging out these untold stories. I saw a bag that I'd like to buy because of your story. When you decided to start embarking on those kinds of stories, what was going through your head?
Looking for something unique, something that would not just affect us as it relates to politics, as you said before, but something that would touch our hearts. Something that we can relate to personally, something like Little Hope. Everybody knows Little Hope and how innocent she is and how it would affect us, her story. We're feeling her, we understand her.
Right. Chris, you just brought us that little cutie full of life, Lishon. Grenada just fell over head over heels, and then I met him in person one day at the development bank, and I'll tell the nation what Lishon told me that day, but that's a little later.
Okay, well, I must say, first of all, good evening to our listening and perhaps viewing audience. Usually, I'm the person behind the camera, so this evening, Ms. Campbell has put me on the spot. I'm a little bit nervous, but I ask you to really pardon me for this. When I came upon Lishon sometime before even Mr. Alexander, threw up a footage of him having a race on a bicycle and him driving. And Lishon is a little guy that he inspired me because of his, he is so brisk and brilliant, and, he's full of life. And he goes beyond his, what we might consider disability. And he showed me a lot, he taught me a lot. And I thought, it would be best to feature him. And when I do stories like this, I always think of, helping someone out of their situation to be better. So I go with that in mind, because I think everybody deserves an opportunity to do just that, to shine.
Good. Yes. Mr. John, it's good to have you. Probably you're the thorn between these two jewels. We have these two roses there. Mm-hmm. And for the Grenadian National Council of the Disabled, when I was a very young reporter, many, many years ago, I remember, we were just talking about stigma and there's not opportunity for them. But I'm certain 25, 30 years on, we have grown. So what is it like for the council seeing that Grenada has now gotten to this place where we embrace people
That's right. That. Well, let me say, first of all, thank you for having us. And I'm fitting for wonderful president, Melo Peters. Everybody knows him. But it's an opportunity to be here and to be part of this organization. It's a wonderful thing. It has been a long time waiting, but it's here. It's a lot of process to go through. But at the end of the day, we are here and we welcome GBN. I think you all have given us a lot of support over the years, always looking out to see what stories you have that you all could highlight for us. And it's a real touching moment for me to know a time like this has arrived, when the people that have disability but are challenged. And that's important because, to me, I always, since I've been on the council for a very long time, and always campaign to change this name disability. Because I believe we all have ability and we all have some challenges in life, you know. And I think seeing it from a different prospect or a different avenue have brought us to this point. And I welcome today with this program, such a wonderful headline program. We have all the politics, but today we are the politicians.
I love that. Whoop, whoop. We are the politicians today. You know, Chris, it was Sunday night, last night, and then I'm looking ahead to today's program. And I thought of you, and I hope you don't mind me putting you on the spot. You can't do anything about it.
You're already done.
I just thought about you and being different, because you go on the camera and they're full of your locks. And even that is different, because I have to say, as an employer, sometimes, you know, long ago, if somebody's harassed, you kind of like, nah, we don't employ that kind of person. So for you being different in that regard and shining such a light, what's that like for you every day?
I feel honored, you know, for one, but I always say, you know, the job that I do, I love it, and I want my job to be the kind that would impact people's lives, not to take somebody down in any negative way, but to help someone up. And my niche that I've found is doing what we call human interest stories, and it's stories like these I think I more gravitate to, because, you know, it's somewhat like you can relate. You go down to these people's level, and yeah, that's what I do.
And you see why you must not go to the Busheju and do Busheju stories, right? Rena, you are somebody who is differently abled, and I know in the past you were shunned, and when you were first hired by the GBN, we know that there was this, because you are differently abled as well. So tell us a little bit about that and fitting into the workplace, where in the past people like you could not even think about applying for a job as a journalist.
Yes, I'm happy that, so, I mean, over the years, society has grown, you know, as it relates to accepting persons with disability, and not just in the community, but in the workplace. So Chris said it all as it relates to, you know, really being a part of the workplace and really finding that niche. And journalism came in at the right time for me, because, as Chris said, it's a place where I can show other persons with disability that anything is possible.
So, Rena, tell us a little bit about, we know for people in the diaspora who have not interacted with you, what is your condition in terms of your hand? Describe that for us, and growing up and going to school, describe that for us.
Well, actually, I don't know if there's a term for, but all I know is that I was born this way. I was always just told you were just born like that. So growing up in school, it was difficult for me, because when I was home, before I went to preschool, I was treated like any normal child at home and among children among me in the yard or next door neighbors. But when you go into a new environment with getting to know new people, I realized that, no, something's wrong. I must be different, because children are treating me different. You know, they would call me names and tease me, and not just from preschool, but going up to higher level. You know, so it was a difficult time. It's a whole long story, but I've grown. I've learned to love myself, and I've learned to love others, and I've learned to accept certain things, and I've learned to use certain negative reactions to become better and do better.
And you are happily married, we'd like to say. I did not in December.
In April.
It seemed as if it was so long ago. It was just April?
Yes.
I thought it was December. I thought it was a December wedding. Yes, folks. So now that we've established the platforms, let's get into it. So one of the very first untold story that GBN brought you related to little Lishon in Manjulu, my days of infancy in that jealous mountain village. Let's take that story.
Lishon Depredin is a 9-year-old grade 4 student of the St. Joseph's RC School in Manjulu. The disease, which affects mostly his back, is quite painful at times, as he explains, and has left him with a different arm. To ease the pressure off his back, he often leaves his books at school, as doctors recommended not carrying or lifting anything heavy. Lishon tells of how he found out he was different.
At the age of 6, my mother explained to me, like, I'm a different person to the other people. Like, some people have the same hand like me, same fingers. Sometimes I feel like My experience in life is to be a better person and get a job and have a nice family.
He is at times bullied by schoolmates. However, he quickly overrides this. This young man is quite aware of his limitations, which would require medical procedure. Strong-minded, one might say, as he explained his response to his mother's attempt to assist him.
He keeps all note over a period of time. We went by the doctor, and the doctor said that the scoliosis was getting worse. Actually, Mom, she said that she wanted to break the hand and straighten it. But I told her, save the money. And when I get more problems with the hand, then they will straighten it. Because right now I am fine with my hand.
Young Depredin is capable of great things, some of which he demonstrated to GBN. But just how did he learn to dress himself?
Actually, when my father finished bed, that is watching when he dressing. I used to watch him when he was dressing. And then my mother was going to dress my one. And then I said, no, Mommy, I'll try to do it for myself. And then Mommy left me, and when she came back outside, she saw I was dressed already, so that's how I learned how to dress by my father. I watched my father.
Lishan lives with his grandfather, Sidney Thomas, who says his grandson is his little handyman, helping him out in whatever way he can. It bothers him, however, when Lishan complains of his back aches.
Explain Lishan as a very smart guy. Like going to school, he would go to school. At least I normally ask the principal about him. She always gives him good remarks. One thing about him, he does his work in school, and he's a brilliant child. And I think by whatever means that he can get help to do what he can do, or what could happen to his hands or back, that would be a plus sign.
Breathtaking, wonderful story. So we'll go back to Christlina, but I just wish to advise you that we promised we'll have Mr. Glen Alexander. And he came just on cue for that story because Glen is a person who highlighted Lishan's story. Christlina picked up on it, so we'll go to him. But Christlina, let's go back to you. So you did that story, and you came away feeling how?
Yeah. I had mixed reactions, I must say. You know, because he made me laugh, part of it, you know. A part of it made me think twice of, you know, sometimes we who are capable, say, or have all our limbs functional, we still do complain. And he showed me, you know, the fact that despite what we consider, I keep saying, disability, that he's able. You know, he lets nothing stop him. And that is an inspiration for me, you know, and I think it has been for a lot of people. He's determined, you know, and I just wish that, you know, he would get the help that he needs to really propel him further, because you realize that he's ambitious and he wants to do things on his own and he don't like to be stopped. As his grandfather shared with me, you know, he is that little guy that you don't tell him no. Better encourage him to do, because he would do it, even if you said no. And I really, I tell you, Lishan touched my heart, and I must say, you know, hats off to Mr. Alexander too, you know, and I guess he's perhaps the person kind of like me, you know, who perhaps gravitate to people like that, and giving him that opportunity to be showcased, because, you know, there's a lot of people who people don't get to see and even know about, you know, and Mr. Alexander, I must say thank you for, you know, highlighting people like Lishan and others to come whom we will be speaking about, you know, and showing the world what they are capable of, you know, and perhaps even to bringing them some assistance, you know, to make them better individuals. So yes,
And now the baton is crossed to Mr. Glen Alexander. He is a secondary school teacher at J.W. Fletcher, but above all, I've learned his heart. He's an activist. He's somebody who wants to bring positive change. Mr. Alexander, we welcome you on Beyond the Headlines. And you brought exposure and light to LeSean, and there's been no stopping at GBN since then. It's just like the baton keeps going. So tell us about your interaction with LeSean and why you think you have to highlight these stories.
Well, as you mentioned, when you use the term community activist, I tend to kind of trickle a little bit because I know I've been in education for some time, and at JW Fletcher we say every child matters. So I would not pass a child. I met LeSean, as the story said. I met him on the road, and I engaged him. I had a chat with him, and then I realized he had that ability to ride the bicycle, and I like videotaping. I like that kind of stuff. So I took pictures, and the rest is history, And but I still believe, as we go around, there are lots of other children who needs that kind of exposure, and whatever we can do as community. Anyone who knows Glen Alexander, he's always helping somebody doing something, and I'm just happy to have that opportunity to, even if I'm not able to contribute to their well-being as I would like to, but given the opportunity to be exposed, so that others can be inspired, and so we can continue to make a difference in our community.
Great. So, Mr. John, when you think of the work that the GNCD has been doing, trying to get people to respond positively, and you see people like Glen Alexander, and you see these stories Christlina, John, and Rena Pierre will cover. Tell us, what is the council's response to all of this?
Well, it's understanding the role of the council. In everything you do, there is a limitation. And many people, and to me, criticism is wonderful. You get a lot of it out there, but the idea is that everything takes a process. Like you have the council function, but every year you changes the board. And one set of the board might start an initiative, next time I see it not. We are fortunate that this, I thank God for COVID, not in a bad light, but in a good light, because we were given an opportunity with the board voting us in for 2 years, which have given us now an opportunity, the board, to work on the behalf of people. Because you start a project, and eventually somebody come and say, no, I'm not change that project. And that was kind of heartbreaking, But at the end of the day, we are seeing today, because we have got that length of period that we have brought to this point, and I hope that we continue to ask the board to make decisions, or ask the people that we represent to at least lead the board on 2 years, so at least something could come out of it, So when you see these stories, and I always look at something, many people wait till they have a challenge to start saying, why you should be doing, why you should be doing that. What were you doing all the time? There were not people in the neighborhood that had challenges, and because you are now facing a challenge, then you want to run your mouth and say, all this and that, we're doing this and not doing that, right? We have all of the government, we have thank God for the governments out there, still continue to give us stipend to continue their limitation. There are people that we are willing to help, right? And let's say, for instance, somebody would ask the council for help to renovate a house. It's okay. But we have to look into the legal part of it. Where you have the house, is it you have access to it? Do you have the papers to the house? Everything. So it's not that somebody else, so we can just give you help. We have to make sure that when we help you, it becomes valuable to you. So we have our limitation, but I thank God that other people have seen the light to realize that at the end of the day, I might be able to use my hands, but I got a good brain. I always look at School of Medicine when we had the chancellor down there. He didn't have legs, but he was running the whole entire organization. And to be at this point, and I always believe, it's not just somebody talking about somebody with a challenge, but you must have a passion. Because you yourself could be in the same situation. So you must be something in you before you actually come into the situation. Yeah. And it is wonderful that we are at this juncture. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. And so, being at this juncture, I was surprised. I thought Mr. Alexander knew LeSean in his community. Mr. Alexander, you're driving by and you see the youngster and you stop.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, well, I have an office in Marion area, and I was amazed. And I actually was, I didn't know he had that kind of challenge. Challenge in sense of his hand and that kind of thing. And then he was riding that bike without brakes. So I even took pictures of the slipper and so, and you know, and I mean, my heart just went up, thinking, hey, should I get a bike for this young man and see how I can work with him? So all of these things ran through my head, just meeting him, but it's the love. I mean, when I meet him these days, I mean, I would hear the voice, Mr. Alexander, and when I look at to be Lishan, and when I learn of his situation, I learn about things that he does. It is amazing, and I think as a community, these sort of children, we just have to reach out to them and let them enjoy their situation. Whatever exposure we can give to them, I think we can do so. I am looking forward to having a Lishan versus Tyler football coming soon.
Lishan versus Tyler. And GP will be filming that live. I think I want to do that in the studio, right? And talking about Lishan versus Tyler, I mean, I met Lishan shortly after the story aired. So it's like I saw him on TV. He became a movie star. And I went to the development bank and I was like, that is Lishan. So I'm trying to talk to Lishan, and Lishan could not be bothered with me, chatting up all the girls, going here and telling me, one of them inside is my girlfriend now. I said, which one? I'm not telling you. So Lishan, your secret is out. Lishan has a girlfriend at the Glen Development Bank. And GDB staff, the fact that you have embraced him to the part where he can say, I have a girlfriend in there. GDB, we big you up this evening. So
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Good evening, viewers and listeners. Welcome to the National Lotteries Authority's Daily Pick 3 Evening Draw for today, Monday, July 12th, 2021. I am Anisha Charles. With me this evening is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that the show is conducted in an accountable manner and the game balls with industry standards and in a way tampered with. This time, should tickets at hand. It's Daily Pick 3. It pays to play. Good luck. What's up this evening is check your tickets in the meantime. First number is 0, second number. Check your tickets. Second number is also 0, third and final number. Final number is 6. Let's recap those numbers on the screen. First number is 0, the second is 0, third and final is 6. So that's 0, 0, and 6. Congratulations to all winners. Stay tuned, get your daily cash flow drop next. We'll see you soon.
Tick, tock, toe. I win.
Feel like a big kid again when you play NLA's new scratch game, Tic-Tac-Toe. It's instant cash on the go. Reveal 3 X's or 3 O's in the same row, column, or diagonally, and win the prizes shown, or as much as $5,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play. Tic-Tac-Toe, please.
Give me a tic-tac-toe, please.
Tic-Tac-Toe, please.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Daily Cash Flow Evening Draw for today, Monday, July 12th, 2021. I am Anisha Charles. With me again is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this show is conducted in an accountable manner and the game balls with industry standards and in a way tampered with. This time, your tickets at hand. It's Daily Cash Flow. More plays, bigger prizes. Let's find out what this evening's winning numbers will be. Good luck. This evening is check your tickets in the meantime. First number is 3, second number is 0, third number up. Third number is 5, fourth and final number. Final number is 3. Let's recap those numbers. Thumbs on the screen. First number up is 3, the second 0, third 5, fourth and final is 3. So that's 3, 0, 5, and 3. Congratulations, all winners. Stay tuned at your play we drop next. We'll see you soon.
With the NLA's Daily Cash 4 every day with more plays and bigger prizes to be won. It's a 4-digit game with all the bet types you already know and much, much more. From 0000 to 9999. Choose your 4 numbers and place your bet from 11 different bet types. Choose from inline, 4 different mixes, first 3, last 3, and 4 different backup options too. Best of all, it starts at just $1, except for backups, which starts at $2. Win as much as $5,000 with a $1 inline bet and as much as $6,200 in a $2 backup bet. Imagine $50,000 for a winning $10 inline bet. There's definitely more to win with the Daily Cash 4. More plays, bigger prizes, twice per day, Mondays to Saturdays. Must be 18 and over to participate. NLA, making your dreams come true while supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Playway Evening Draw for today, Monday, July 12th, 2021. I am Anisha Charles. With me again is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this show is conducted in an accountable manner, and the game was with industry standards and in a way tampered with. Let's play Playway, value your dreams, win your way. Good luck. This evening's winning Playway number is, check your tickets. Winning player number is 36. Let's recap the number. 3636. 36 represents the dream symbol Vagrant. Congratulations to all the winners of this evening's Playway draw. Tune in later on for the Lotto draw. This evening we're playing for a jackpot of $92,000. So we'll see you then.
I'm a winner. You are winner. We are winners. Winners.
It's the big one. Grenada. Imagine winning $25,000 and up to 6 times by scratching just one lotto ticket. Get your triple cash scratch tickets for a chance to live your best life. Win easy with Scratch. For just $3, match any of your numbers to any of the winning numbers and win the prize shown for that number. Reveal a money back symbol and win the prize instantly. Triple cash scratch in stores now. Must be 18 or older to play.
Cause I'm a winner. From the moment that I get up, I'm feeling right.
So we'll move on to another story, and this one is indeed a story of hope and faith. Let's go to Labrie in St. George and let's tell the initial story of hope.
4-year-old Hope St. Louis of Labrie, St. Paul's. Due to her condition, Hope is no longer able to play, run, and walk as she wants, as her feet continue to swell with severe pain after being active for long periods of time. Hope suffers from a medical issue termed toe walking, explained as a pattern of walking in which a child walks on balls of his or her feet with no contact between the heels and ground. Toe walking is common in children who are learning to walk. After the age of 2, however, most children grow out toe walking and begin to walk with a normal heel-to-toe pattern. However, Hope has been walking on her toes all her life, but as she grows older, her condition worsens. Her family was medically advised that surgery is the only solution. Katisha Lewis says her granddaughter has overcome many trials over the past 4 years, as she was born a premature baby.
The mother had at 7 months. She had complications along with lungs being underdeveloped and so, but everything worked out well except for one issue, which is her feet. At the age of 1, we realized that there was an issue with her right foot, which the cartilage was not developed properly in the ankle. So at that point, the foot was put in cast for about 3 months, and that issue there was rectified. But then we later realized also that she had an issue with her left foot, which she's unable to place flat, which it affects her walking, her running, and everyday movement.
Family and friends have come together to raise some of the finance needed to pay for the surgery, but they are still far from their mark.
The doctor we'll be using is Dr. Noel. The surgery costs $5,600. It will be done at the General Hospital sometime in February. You have to get the exact date in February. Family and friends have donated, and so because of the COVID, and so we have not really done, we were thinking of probably big sales and so, but we have not really done those. So far we have raised over $2,000, and we are still seeking ways and means of achieving the rest of the funds to get the surgery done.
Lewis told GBN that despite her challenges, young Hope continues to endure.
Because of the defect in her foot, she falls a lot, but she perseveres. She falls down, she gets up. She falls down, she gets up, she keeps going. So it doesn't the foot, it's a hamburg, but she doesn't let it keep her back. She keeps going no matter what. At this point, we are asking anyone out there to assist in helping us raise the rest of the funds, to be able to help 4-year-old Hope receive her surgery.
Anyone willing to help 4-year-old Hope can contact Miss Lewis on 440-0237. For GBN News, I am Rena Pierre reporting.
And I'm tossing directly to Rena. Rena, the phones were ringing off the hook, and our Facebook page was bling bling. Can I have numbers, please?
Yes. Hope was a love. Hope was, no matter all her challenges, when I met her, she was joyful, she was bubbly, and she was excited. And as her grandmother said, she would fall and get back up. It doesn't matter. She might be tired, she might rest, but she was energetic, and I just fell in love with that little girl.
Good. And there was Hope for Hope. We were very impressed with the responses that we got. We had people in the diaspora calling and asking, please, can I get Hope's number? Let's look at Hope for Hope.
This is 4-year-old Hope St. Louis of Laborie St. Paul's. Due to her condition, Hope is no longer able to play, run, and walk as she wants, as her feet continue to swell with severe pain after being active for long periods of time. Hope suffers from a medical issue termed toe walking, explained as a pattern.
Actually, what we tried to do there was to give the success story. So we'll go on to the success story where Hope did get help.
I know the Lord is able to carry me through. He heals the broken-hearted and sends the captain free. He lamed the lame to walk again and caused the blind to free. My Lord is able, He's able. I know He's able. I know the Lord, my Lord is able to carry me through.
4-year-old Hope St. Louis is thanking and praising God for what He has done for her within months of asking for help. Hope suffered from toe walking, explained as a pattern of walking in which a child walks on balls of his or her feet with no contact between the heels and ground. In December of 2020, GBN aired the preschooler's story as her family sought the public's assistance in obtaining enough money to undertake surgery as Hope's condition worsened. Today, Hope can run, walk, and play with ease as she had 2 successful surgeries. Her mother, Lenasha Lewis, says that the past few months have been challenging, but she is very happy to see her daughter's progress.
Hope's surgery was performed on February 24th at the General Hospital. Dr. Douglas Noel performed the surgery. It was successful. She had 2 surgeries. The second was just to remove the stitches and manipulate the ankle. It's out of cast now. Hope she's running, she's jumping, she's dancing, she's doing everything. So it's just basic therapy that's needed to get her back to, get her to how she's supposed to.
Despite her daughter's successful operation, the mother says she is still cautious.
No, she does not. She does not want help with walking. She thinks she's so independent. She do everything for herself. So I still have my little frights now and then, especially coming down the step. But she doesn't care.
Hope recalls her stay at the General Hospital as a somewhat fun experience.
What was it like when you was in the hospital?
It was fun.
It was fun? What about it was fun?
I had friends and some babies. They put a needle in my hand and I started to cry. Yeah.
That what they did to you?
Yes.
What else?
I was given trouble to take off the cast, so they had to just put me on the CGA and I fell asleep.
What you want?
A new Barbie doll.
For what?
To play with.
To play with? And when you want it?
For my birthday.
When is your birthday, Hope? You remember?
August 3rd.
August what?
August 3rd.
Hope will continue therapy sessions until she has successfully recovered. She and her family had this to say to everyone who reached out and assisted in making her dream a reality.
So we like to say thank you to everyone. I don't want to pinpoint because I might forget some people. So I'd like to say thank you to the general public for their support, their prayers, their contribution to having Hope's foot fixed.
Thanks, everybody.
For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
I think here at the GBN we'll be submitting that story to CNN because they have an initiative which I think this story is just fit and prime for. So yes, August 3rd is just like 3 weeks away. I know we were contacted by 2 people in the United States who said they were sending dolls to Hope. So I'm certain by now she's had one of those, and several dolls could be on the way for Hope. And before we cross the commercial break, Mr. John, the council, when you see this, you're saying that this is a hand-in-hand, let's reach across and help. It's not just the council to help, but how we need to rally around Hope and Lishan.
The thing what will happen to the council works like a coordinator. Right? It's just like NAGMA. Everybody in NAGMA share, but I coordinate when there is a hurricane. And this is what, if you understand the way we function, that's the problem with people. People just want help, and it's like crazy glue, they just get a stick. But sometimes there's contact sim, and they got to wait some 20 minutes before you get adhesion. And this is exactly how the council functions. So when we see these things, and we feel good, and people, the idea is to do advocacy on these people. And that's the purpose of the council. So we expect some of the council to help, but when we advocate on them, people outside here this way and say, listen, I can contribute. The bank say I can do this. Organize, and this is what happened. This is where we get hope. And as I always said, people must have passion for other people. If you don't, you'll always see it as a problem. When you understand what people go through, it is easy for you to deal with this story. Yeah?
Easy for you to deal with the story. And I have to say that Hope's story gave me a lot of hope, and it has strengthened my faith to hear Hope saying she had fun in the hospital, she was under anesthesia. I'm reading news and like, what's the word, everybody? But she just rattled off anesthesia, and I saw the change in her mommy's comport, in her demeanor, because when she was doing the first story, you could see she was there, and like, my child, the body language was like, my child needs help, without saying it verbally. But when Hope, we see all this big smile, and at GBN we're so happy. Mr. John just to translate, he said, she's not just in Hope anymore, she's in Marquee now. We're happy to have put them in Marquee. This is Beyond the Headlines. It's Monday night. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Gas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
Customer services, bill payment, revenue collections. We are open. NOASA's Lucas Street headquarters.
Come, we are excited to serve you.
NOASA, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. This evening, we're looking at the untold stories, and I have to say that I have a very good friend. I was trying to shield him, you know. He's a co-worker who tells me, well, when I look and see what you're dealing with, if it's not hard-hitting and it's not controversial, I'm not looking. So I know my very good friend who's an employee of ours here at the GBN is not looking tonight, but that's all right. Millions of people are encouraged by what is happening this evening, right? My very good friend, tomorrow we talk about that. Tuesday morning we'll see and we talk about that, right? While I'm on that, let me say good evening to Mr. George at Qualitech Clinic. Healthcare in Grenada is very crucial and they do an excellent job there. And there's a gentleman who is very much alive like hope and full of hope regardless of what happens to him on the health-wise. Mr. Burke and family, we say a very special good evening to you. And they would know why. He's somebody who's overcome a lot of challenges and his children will tell you some stories. One of these good days I'll get Mr. Burke on Beyond the Headlines. We're staying with a Mr. And I'm going to call him Mr. Tyler. And let's get that story about Mr. Tyler and come back to the panel.
Brilliant is one word used to describe 13-year-old Tyler Smith, a Form 1 student of the J.W. Fletcher Catholic Secondary School. If you look closely, you would see that Tyler is missing one limb. Today, we had a sit down and a chat with Tyler, because this does not stop him from his enthusiasm and his appreciation for the game of football. Tyler is the first of 3 children who were more than happy to share parts of his life story and how he is treated among his friends.
I born with no bone in one leg, so they had to cut it out when I was a little baby. It was very good. Everybody was nice to me. I help each other and they help me too.
This young lad has a passion for the game of football and would someday love to play on his school's team and later in life as a professional.
Goalkeeping is very fun. I like to save the ball. And normally I like to kick it too. And I love playing it. I want to be like Neymar. I feel very, very good. I want to play very bad. I aspire to be on the school team.
Tyler started wearing a prosthetic leg from the age of 5. However, now he says it's not the most comfortable alternative. He'll rather move around as is.
A prosthetic leg is very, very bad. It's very hard to walk in. Sometimes it hurt. Sometimes I don't take it out. Sometimes I get corn on my foot. So I don't walk with a clutch. My clutch is hard to walk into. It hurt my arm.
Tyler's teacher and now his coach, Glen Alexander, spoke passionately about how he discovered this young man's ability.
Able to see Tyler coming from physical education class, and I was amazed as to how he moved around. And speaking to him, I had a chat with him and asked him his favorite sport. And we clicked because he said football. And I wanted to challenge and see how he will move around with the football. And immediately I sent him on the lawn. And the way he kicked, I was amazed.
Alexander is hopeful that they can move forward as an institution to help Tyler. He's also advocating for the right prosthetic leg for him and hopes that with the school putting forward, along with other assistance, this can come to fruition. From outside the J.W. Fletcher Catholic Secondary School, I have been speaking there with fully energized Tyler Smith, wouldn't you say? I have been your reporter, Christlina John, for GB.
Won't you say? No, I've gone into defensive mode and my hands are folded because I'm just in awe and shock. And I'm saying, Mr. Alexander, you again. First it was Lishon. Why are these people drawn to you? Why are you drawn to these people? I mean, it's just so wonderful. Tell us about that.
Oh, yes. And following that story, I had it with Tyler in the sense that he came every day with his clothes to train. And well, we know we were into exams and so forth. And it bleeds my heart to say, well, no, we can't train today, or it's raining. But he has that passion. I'm happy that I discovered that passion, and whatever help we can get for him, it will be appreciated. I've learned so many things after. You know, sometimes as teachers, we get to know about our student incidentally. And I learned that he lived on a hill. And yes, so speaking about the crutch hurting under his arm, I'm really hoping that that can be addressed. At times, to looking back, because you know, after the story is like, hey, I have to work a little closer with that child. And I realized sometimes he would be tired and so on. It affects him. So in whatever way we can at school and otherwise, in terms of helping, because I plan to more or less kind of adopt him for the holidays, because we continue to play football, and I know he would be happy to journey with the team. And of course, I'm going to inform GBN when he will get his debut. He likes goalkeeping, and because of the nature of football, he would not be able to be on the field with a crutch. But if he's in the goal, then there would not be any infringement with this. So we intend to give him a little, what we say, blind, but at the same time, the energies. My thing, Odette, is the what next? How do we handle this? You have the Paralympic sports and so, but how do we get that help to get there? I may try in my little shell, but at the same time, my other obligation is to teach. And I would love for something to happen with these boys, well, in this case, Tyler, to really have him fulfill his dream. You listen to the video and it's like, I want to play very bad. And you feel that passion. And working with him, I would say, are you tired? And he would say, no, but I may be tired. So, but again, the passion, I have to continue. But I think whatever can be done in terms of him going forward, maybe if he gets the leg, he might just get into track and field and that kind of thing. Because when you look at him, the movements, any one of us, I challenge any one of us to try kicking a ball, hopping on one leg, and I doubt we can't. So
definitely, and I want to ask the producer if he could cue the footage again, because the first thing that shocked me, he was kicking and then he spun around. I was like, what? I don't think I could do that, and I think I have good balance. And Mr. John, he's asking, like, how do we move forward? How do we?
To be honest, I mean, I had the opportunity somewhere on mornings to drop 2 kids to JW Fetch, and I saw this young man coming along the hill with this, he had a leg, you know, and he was walking. But 2 days after I saw him, I got the leg and he's same speed going down the hill. So I called Ms. Gabriel one time. I said, listen, have you visited J.B. Fetcher, this young man, to make sure? He said, yes, that's one of our clients. But I said to me, yes, always one of our clients, but it sounds like that's ordinary. I don't want to be one of our clients. I want to be somebody that we can assist. And she told me that actually working for a leg with him, they have a good relationship with the family and everything like that. Because I was looking, I mean, I am able-bodied and sometimes I look at it to go down the hill with this speed, and he was just the vigor and everything. And I know as we are here, and his coach is saying that, to me, he's going to school with that passion that I'm going to play football today, so I like. So he had that speed. But I would give you hope here that the council in which we stand or represent are really taking up the challenge to get this done. Okay. Right? We can use as a medium where we can advocate on him. You know, because we have connection on the outside. We have just gotten some opportunities. So, you know, some people on the outside recognize what we are doing. Maybe some people feel we are not vocal. But I don't believe we're on the station all the time. We got things to do and we're doing them. We are just now producing, trying to get a quarterly leaflets outside to let people know what we are doing. We actually were working behind the scenes to get to this point. Before talking, and we cannot get there. And there are a lot of people buying into what we're doing because we have given them confidence. We have not reached everybody, and at the end of the day, we are on the process of doing such. Right? If we cannot help you financially, but we can be the source on which things derive from. You know, so I really want to give you hope. Because I saw that young man myself, and trust me, when I saw him on the television, I don't watch news much, but I happened to put on my phone and I saw this thing, and I stuck on it because I said, no, this is the guy. So I called back and gave, I said, you understand who I am? I talking about? I said, this is, she said, yes. And no, Mr. John, because I said, I want to make sure that I don't care the length we need to go. I've never seen somebody with a passion like this. And to be honest, these things drive me. As I'm saying, if a young man like this can have any, you have this so much vigor to do this. What am I sitting on? I need to do something. I need to do some kind of program myself too. And this gives us the drive. I thank this program, and I really saying, Rena there, and Rena be somebody. I will be harder on Rena. She know the kind of person I am. Because when I see things like, and this is what gets us. It's not just me. We have a board that functions. And you have people, instead of we are spending time saying, the organization will do something, then what can I do to help the organization to get there? This is the point. You see, it's not what the organization, we need to point in the fingers at somebody. But I'm here, this is a young man. Do I know somebody in the States that have an idea? The people who work, and people do a lot for people, Can I call that person and say, listen, there is a student in a school I want to assist. Can I contribute to this? Can I help? And this is what we need. Not just saying, GNCD is not doing, the blind is not doing that. No, we understand that we can't reach everyone, but you have seen something. Can you do something to help? Can you call, say, listen, I can't do anything, but I know of someone. Could you call him on the behalf of me and say, listen, this is the council that represent people that are challenged. We have an incident here where this young man go to school and he has an amputee and we need to, okay, right? Yes, we understand the criticism and we understand that we're not where we're supposed to be. And we get there and we love the criticism because it gives us a drive to move forward. But I'm saying that if you see something that's wrong, can you help correct it?
Yeah.
And this is what we're looking for. But I'm giving you hope today that this is one of my passion as well. So I'm with you on this one and make sure that he gets the assistance that he needs, definitely.
I'm happy to hear this. In my mind, I do not, what I'm saying, I know, want it to be a one-off.
No.
One-off in the sense that, here, he needs this and we give him that. But to see how we can organize in a way where we can journey. So if Glen Alexander is out of the picture, Tyler's journey continues.
Definitely.
So I'm really hoping, and not only Tyler, but the others.
The wider.
Yeah, while the stories would get its likes and its shares, my thing is I would love for continuity where that is concerned. Where Lishan is concerned, where Tyler is concerned, and all the others, and GBN2 can do follow-up stories. What is happening with Faith? Is it Faith? Sorry.
Yes, you open hope to Faith.
From hope to Faith. She's gone to market.
Yes.
And that is so true. And Ms. Alexander, I would just like to say that yes, one of the things we see is the likes that go onto these stories, but I'm proud to say at the GBN that these have been translated into actual assistance. So there was another story, Rena, what was the lady with the house again in St. Andrew?
That would be Davina.
Right, so that was Davina, and people in the US, we had one of the funeral agencies here, I don't want to call the name because he said we just want to do this privately, gave a sum of money to assist with that. And I want to stick a pin here and go back a little bit to Tyler's story to salute our camera woman here at the GBN, Miss Bernadette Connell Celestine, because she's the one behind the camera picking up these stories. And one of the things that struck me, a story becomes compelling based on the video footage. And I could see where she went up on the veranda and did that shot looking down, and it was just so powerful to tell Tyler's story. And what is in my head with Tyler? Neymar. I want to say Neymar.
Yes.
Yeah, Neymar. We'll be watching him one of these good days. Remember Kirani James 2012? An unforgettable day. So one of these good days, we'll be watching the Euro Cup, you called it, Ms. Adeline?
Yeah.
We'll be looking at Grenada's Neymar. So you went and how did you find Tyler? Where did you see?
Again, hats off to Mr. Alexander. He was the person who really brought him to my attention. I guess he realized the kind of stories that I gravitate to. So he threw something in my WhatsApp. He just sent me a video, and I said to him, I think I want to do something with him. I say, I think I like what I see. And he said, well, yeah, we could organize something. I said, please seek permission from his parent to speak with him. I say, and maybe you can give me a date. We organized and I went and get a story done. But just like you were, say, inching in your chair and edging when you see him hopping around and kicking the ball on one foot, I was like this, the day seeing him in action without the clutch as a support. Because, we need our two legs to balance. And I was like, how does he do that? I said, Mr. Alexander, he go fall. Being there and I getting edgy. And he said, no, he could manage. Look at him. And I was so impressed. leaving the schoolyard, I saw him chasing down another one down the hill. I mean, who knows how J.W. Fletcher is located? He chasing another one down the hill without the clutch, hopping on that one leg so fast. I'm like, look at him be. He is an amazing young man and very ambitious. You could see here from the way he spoke. He is determined, you know, to really play football. As he say, really bad, he wants to play. And I just want to use the opportunity now to encourage, you know, parents who have children, you know, who are, say, challenged like these. Do not hide them away, because as you can see with the different stories, every one of them has something that they gravitate to, that they love to do, they have a passion for. In his case, it's football. In Lishan's case, might be riding a bicycle or even playing football. And, you know, it's just that give them the opportunity. I'm asking the parents, do not hide them, or give them that opportunity to shine and showcase what it is that they are capable of doing. Do not keep them at home and think, oh, my child is disabled, and people might laugh at them. I think, you know, society has grown to a level where people have a, you know, a better understanding. Social media has it good and bad, and I'm saying perhaps that's one way that we have learned, perhaps from seeing things, that we have to learn to accept people who are differently abled, you know, but giving them that chance, that opportunity at life to be best at what they like doing.
Could I just say something here? Okay, are you going to go?
Just before I forget, I'm here sitting thinking, you know, that we come upon these stories when there's a Glen Alexander who tosses you a bone. He just throws it in your WhatsApp to see what you will do. You know, that's the test of a good journalist. Christlina, you passed the test. You didn't just sit on that, right? And then she passed.
Oh, yeah, she did.
With flying colors. And we just want to say to people out there, there are some untold stories in your communities that we wouldn't know about, but we probably could share Christlina and Rena's number so that you can call them whenever you have those untold stories that you'd like to share. Mr. Johnny wanted to say.
Yes, well, she was saying there, and you know, with parents, I ever took up the initiative with the council to go, because what happens sometimes, the stigma is so much that, I mean, if you have a parent that has a child, and today children are more exposed to things than parents. Parents will tell you that, I don't want to go on a computer. It's not going, it's something that you got to do to assist your child. You can't tell a child that, you know, you must read and you're not reading. Come on, you got to encourage your child. So what we do, and what I take the initiative with the council on my own, is to go counsel parents. You have a child with a challenge. To me, that's something nice. You have to prove to people that this child has a challenge and he can do this. Don't hide your child. I know it's hard, and people in the neighborhood say, oh, you have a child because you did. That's not a problem. It's not what the neighbor says. It's what you can do to assist your child to become whatever they want to be. You see? And what we need is people more positive, like our gentleman here, to see something. Don't wait till somebody sits in your class or somebody is in your home or family of yours. Are you looking out in the community? There are people haven't eaten your meat. You're feeding your dog with whatever thing, fine, we understand. We're not going there. What I'm saying is that there are people that don't even have a dog and they can't even eat what your dog eats. Can you consider these people? But you are the same people before they hear the headlines on the phone. Oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. What are you doing? Why did you be a gang come and say, oh, there's somebody like Mr. Alexander, is it? Oh, there. They don't know this child from Adam and pass on the road and see him and say, listen, I saw this child, Rena. Could you do something? This is what we're looking for. We welcome your criticism, but we want the positivity as well. Because as a small community, if one person could just look out for one person, I think we could be good. You know, so what we are doing now, try to help the families to understand that this is a condition that they will have to live with. But if they handle it properly and given the right counsel, that child will make you proud one of these days.
Just to add with what Mr. John was saying, parents have to also understand that when they do not expose their child or do not help their child to grow, it will let that child, at the end of the day, they will become a dependent and not an independent child. Because most of the time, persons with disability, they don't let them expand and go there and do the things that they want to do. And parents and sisters and brothers, siblings will end up being the one taking care of these people until they reach to the end. And this is not what we want. Let them be exposed, let them grow so that they will be independent. And when they become independent, then it's not a fact that you're worried, oh, my child is, you know, I'm getting old, I can't get up and do anything. Who's going to take care of my child? That person is able to do whatever they can to take care of themselves, to make money, to be self-sufficient.
And Rena, I have to say that, you know, in Grenada and Palance, we say we're minding the person business. I had known Rena for quite a while before we employed her here at the GB, and I taught her media studies at T.A. Marischal Community College, and I used to ask a friend of hers about, I'm like, you know, I want to hire her, but I'm worried we will have to type her script for her. She's like, hey, Miss Campbell, you stupid. I go and see help Rena build a house, and when you see Rena bring 2 buckets of concrete with them hands.
I remember the passion she shared as well. Just like I said, the young man, one day we was in the office and he said, John, I hate to sit down. I like this thing. I want to go and get my camera. And so one day he said that when I want you at GB and I said, at least you get the opportunity you wanted, yes?
And she's one of our most productive citizens here at the GBN. This is Beyond Headlines. We're telling the untold stories tonight. We'll be back after this break. Do stay with us.
Imagine winning $25,000 and up to 6 times by scratching just 1 lotto ticket. Get your triple cash scratch tickets for a chance to live your best life. Win easy with Scratch. For just $3, match any of your numbers to any of the winning numbers and win the prize shown for that number. Reveal a money back symbol and win the prize instantly. Triple cash scratch in stores now. Must be 18 or older to play.
From the moment that I get up, I'm feeling right.
A pleasant evening to everyone. Welcome to the National Lotteries Authority's Lotto Draw number 3235 for today, Monday, July 12, 2021. I am Anisha Charles. With me this evening is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this show is conducted in an accountable manner and the game balls with industry standards and in a way tampered with. This time, your tickets at hand because you're about to play for a jackpot of $92,000. But first, your free ticket letter. Good luck. Letter for this evening is E as in even. At this time, we'll select your 5 winning numbers. Good luck. First up this evening is, check your tickets in the meantime. First number is 6, second number. Second number is 27, third number up. Third number is 12, followed by 20, fifth and final number. Number is 4. Let's recap those numbers. Numbers on the screen. First number up is 6. The second, 27. Third, 12. Followed by 20. Fifth and final is 4. So that's 0, 6, 6, 2, 7, 27, 1, 2, 12, 2, 0, 20, and 0, 4, 4. Your free ticket letter for this evening is E as in even. Congratulations to all the winners of this evening's Lotto Draw. Lotto, play and win a lot. Remember to play all the games of the National Lotteries Authority, support sports, culture, and the nation building. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful evening.
By now, you should know that the early bird catches the worm. So, what are you waiting for? Put wings to your feet and head to your nearest scratch seller. For every quick 7s scratch ticket you buy at $2, the NLA gives you 7 chances at winning as much as $7,000. Scratch the entire play area for your 7 chances at revealing as much 7s and win the corresponding prizes. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines, and tonight we're going beyond the headlines with stories that don't often get told. We label them the untold stories. GBN, we bring them to you. I am pleased to have with me 2 of our foot soldiers who go out there and dig deep and bring us those stories. Rena, Pierre, Christlina John. We have another John in studio, Mr. Clifford John. He is of the Grenada National Council of the Disabled. Rena is also a member of the council board, and we tip our hat in her direction. And we have with us someone who you could just say he's a teacher, but no, he's much more than that. He's a community activist. He's a mover and shaker in the community. My highest regard and respect to Mr. Glen Alexander. So let's continue. We are going to be telling you a story about a gentleman who moved from the lower to the upper house. Carvel's story.
Meet Campbell Francois, a young man defying all odds despite of his condition. He finds a way to get through life. Campbell was born preterm, as his mother says, a premature baby who has never walked in his life. Today, we had a sit down with Campbell and take a look at how he goes about doing his craft work. How did you first discover that you was able to do craft?
Well, I had a chain in my neck that my grandmother bought for me. It was a chain with a cross in the end of it. And I always wearing it sometimes when I feel down. So one day I was wearing it and it bust. Piece of thread and I start making some handbands with it. I place it on Facebook.
Campbell tells how craft has helped him cope with his challenges. One day, he says, he reached his breaking point.
I wanted to commit suicide once because I felt so bad that I can't walk. My phone charger and I tied it to my neck. I said to myself, today is the day, there's nobody home, this is my time. As soon as I start pulling it, my mother's picture fall right in front of my foot. I just pick up the picture and I started to cry. To be honest with you, it really helps them because there are days I sit down and I just feel bad because I'm my mother's first kid. I'm the first one. So sometimes when I sit back and I think about it and I say, well, my mother needs help with certain things and I can't help her. Yeah, it gets to me to a point where sometimes I sit down in the night by myself and I cry.
Two people he is most grateful for in his life, who he says are his pillars. Without them, he says, life would not be the same.
She's one of a kind, to be honest with you. There are days when I feel down, she'll put me sit down and say, I know today is not your day, but tomorrow is a better day. My mother she's everything. She's inspiration. She's God-given. So many words I could use, but those are the two that come to my mind right about now. If I didn't have this woman, God knows I'd probably be in a home or dead somewhere. Killer. Yeah, the guy is he's like my big brother. I would just listen to one of his songs, or it doesn't matter which one. Or sometimes I would call him and I say, hey, bro, I'm feeling kind of down today. I could talk to you about something. You go stop your work and just talk to me for hours. Sometimes I forget I ain't pain.
This young man is optimistic that his condition will improve one day. He sends this word to others in a similar situation like himself.
Never went in church. I don't know what inside of a church building look like. Never went in school. I don't know what the inside of a school building look like. Everything I learned from the TV. There's more to disabled people than that meets the eye. There's more to us than people see.
Young Francois sends this plea as the one thing that will make both himself and his mother's life more comfortable.
The help I'm looking for right now is a wheelchair or the chair to help me bathe mostly. That way if I have the wheelchair I can go to the beach. Because I haven't been to the beach since I was maybe about 10 years old. Stuck like this every day and sometimes my legs hurt. Sometimes when I'm lying down in the night, I can't feel in both my legs. Because I'm like this every day until I'm ready to sleep.
We have been speaking there with Campbell Francois. As you have heard, a very, very inspirational and touching story from this young man. I think it was a great sharing. I'm Christlina John for GBN News.
All right, so Christlina, you're kind of making the tears flow here. So I'm tossing to you as host for the time until I can regain my computer.
I know, because it brought me back to that day And I feel the same, kind of emotion, flowing once again. Campbell, now I came upon Campbell. That was the first story I worked on. And it so happened that I like naturally made things, like beaded stuff. So it's on Facebook. I saw this beaded thing that it caught my eyes, and I clicked on the profile picture, and I realized it's someone who is like on the floor somewhere. So I say, the person that making that disabled, and I went into Messenger, and I sent a message to the person, and I asked the question, and they told me yes. So I asked where they live, and I say, well, I would like to speak to you sometime. If you have to seek permission from your parent or so that I can speak with you, I'd appreciate that. So they said they would get back to me, and they did. He did. And he said his mother welcomed me anytime. So I went and I did the story. I mean, they was very accommodating. And as you see, you have to sometimes go down to people's levels. And I went down to Campbell's level, and I understood and I felt every bit of his expressions. And I'm telling you, that day was an emotional day. I couldn't bring it out in the news, but the tears really did drop that day, when he said, that he reached to that breaking point, and really how and what caused him to change his mind, and how much he would like to help his mother, and being the first and not being, say, able-bodied to do so, that touched me, because, knowing in his mind that, he has that kind of ambition, he wants to do something, not like an able-bodied person sit by and begging, but he wants to do something to help his mom. And as you see, it's only one hand in his that is functional, so he only uses his right hand to thread the beads. And that would take a process. It would take a while, because the other hand is, say, call it dead. He can't move. And you see, he's in that position. I mean, I could only imagine perhaps how it feeds back on his waist. And so, and that story got Campbell, a lot of help. Up to this day, we're still in communication, and I must say that I communicate with all my clients. I call them.
You have clients?
We keep in touch.
You have clients?
We keep in touch. I do keep in touch with them from time to time, find out how they're going. And they even, sometimes if they don't hear me, I get calls from Campbell all the time, because he wants to marry me. He says, I'm okay.
Proposals have been made.
Yes, Campbell is a very lively being too, and he too brings inspiration to people. He has been able to get wheelchairs, I must say, from people in the diaspora. Thank you all so much. I know some of you might be listening to the program tonight. Thank you so much for always reaching out and helping people back home who are in need, always giving back. We do appreciate it, even though you don't come to me directly, but the people that need help, they do get it from time to time, and he's one of those who can attest to that. He's more comfortable in terms of, getting his bath now. His mom don't have to lift him to the bathroom anymore. And he was able to even give assistance to other persons who needed wheelchairs that called, and I referred them to his mom, and they was able to donate from what he got to other people, beads to do his work. He got an assortment, and over a period of time, people keep sending stuff for him to continue his work. He has orders in the U.S. and in places like England, and so he has a lot of work on hand that perhaps is too much even for him to manage now. His mom helps him well, and I must applaud her too, because she's one of those, I'm telling you, he's 32 now, and she took the best care of her son, continue to do so. He has no sickness. He's, as you see, clean, and she takes care of him every day. She says she couldn't put him in a home, and I applaud you, Miss Francois, for taking the best care of his son and showing other parents, don't give up. Don't give up on your child. They're a person, they're a human like everybody else, and they deserve the best, that life perhaps can offer. And you can give, even though she don't have much, but she does her best.
I can say, Ms. Campbell, as a journalist, Christlina and I, the thing that we love the most is that when we bring out these stories, what brings us most joy is the help, the support that these people get, and we feel so overjoyed to see that they were at this level and they're going to another level and they are much more happier. They're exposed and they have opportunities that they can develop and grow from. And when we see that, it just brings a lot of happiness to us to see that. We're thinking that people out there, some of us, they don't care. But when we really look at it, even Grenadians here on the island, you see, even if it's a teen of something, they contribute. Sometimes we think that we don't have the love, but we still have it. We really do have it.
The world a better place.
Makes the world a better place. And Mr. John, like I said, 30-something years ago when I joined the media in 1987 and my interactions with the GNCD, I have seen you come full circle. We understand that there's a positive story. I'm not sure if we have it in the lineup, but I'd ask the producer if we can access it and show it later. We had it in the news last week. It was last week, Wednesday, I believe. You got a 40-foot container of supplies. You want to tell us about that?
Well, yes, and that's only one part of it. I still want to highlight this here because we have here beekeeping. We have some almost about 10 young men and women graduating from rabbit rearing, and all the writing Good Hope right there. We have Hassan, and all these things. And yes, the container, one of our board members have contacted this gentleman abroad and showed him the passion and the need we have to meet the needs of our people. And he actually was doing it abroad, sending it to different countries, and he decided, well, this time is Grenada.
And I think we do have, we could go back to that story from last week, so let's take it right now.
No problem.
Living in the U.S. with the help of other Grenadians in the United States and Canada. A 40-foot container shipped to the Grenada National Council of the Disabled, recently filled with wheelchairs, clutch canes, and walkers, among others, for persons within the disabled community. In an interview with GBN, Alexander explains that his love for community support was fostered from a young age as a long-time club member in St. Andrews. But he really started to give back when his stepmother passed. He is encouraging people to contribute to the cause through his GoFundMe page.
Regardless of $5, $50, $500, $2, $20, right? It's Charity Drive Grenada Seniors. On the GoFundMe page, Charity Drive Grenada Seniors. And make a donation of whatever you could afford. Okay, I have no shame to my game. Whatever it is that you could afford, we gladly appreciate it. As a result of a few people who made contributions, I was able to ship 2 containers to Grenada. And there's a third one in the making, all through donations.
This is the second container sent by John Crow and his team, with the first sent to the General Hospital toward the improvement of the health sector in Grenada last year. Hilary Gabriel, coordinator of the Grenada National Council of the Disabled, said her council is excited about the much-needed items and applauded Grenadians in the diaspora for their generous contributions.
And here we are today. It's a lot of work, but to get it done, we have to get it done because we need items. We've been hearing the cry that people are saying that they need this, they need that, and they can't get it. So we put out our wings out there and we collected the items, and we are happy that we could receive those items so that persons with disabilities, the homes, and so are not left out. And I must say here, Carriacou and Petit Martinique would not be left out because there are containers with their names written on it. So we have to go to Carriacou to deliver the items to Carriacou.
Many people with disabilities have already started to benefit from the shipment, as items have already been donated. The news team happened to catch Miss Madeleine Batiste, who was collecting some much-needed item on behalf of an immobile man. She said that the beneficiary will be happy to receive his long-awaited wheelchair.
I know Dexter will be very happy. He always appreciates whatever little gift that he gets from people, and I know he will be very happy because he's been out of a wheelchair, a proper wheelchair, for the past year, I can say. So I know this afternoon when I drop it to him, he will be very happy to receive it. Not only happy, but very appreciative.
Another shipment of items will be coming to Grenada as it is still in the collecting stage. Mr. Alexander is calling on Grenadians all over the world to give contributions towards the donation. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
While we're on that, Mr. John, Ms. Gabriel has her OBE or MBE yet?
Yes, we have one of them. I can. But she did, yeah, she did receive that. I mean, and you know, it's of all, one of the things, I mean, I love about her, she's on the forefront. And the critics from all sides, but she, I think, was a woman and the passion to do such. And you know, even now she has a little granddaughter, Vigor, which also suffers a disability. You know, and it's, the thing about that is just, and this is well needed. Because you cry, people ask for wheelchairs, but there's no access to give them. And people reaching out at this, we give the organization an opportunity to reach the people. You know, because we look today that, you know, finances are strapped. We live in a time now, it's difficult. We're looking at government to cut the stipend. There's a lot of things you can look at the present moment. But every individual, as the manservant said, $5, $20. It goes a long way eventually to reach people like that. And this is what we love, even when we are looking at Campbell, is one way to make things Campbell. What we try to do is empower people. It's not just say them, okay, we just give a handout to you, but we say, what can you do? Because what we are doing now is, wherever we go, we ask them, what kind of training, what do you want to do? Then we will seek the people at me and we make the training available for you. So you see, he's making his chains, some people making hats, some people making bags, some people doing plaiting of the chairs. So we try to create an avenue where you're not just always looking at the councils handing out to, but you yourself can be able to be marketable to make something for yourself. So as I said, it's on the drawing board a long time. We have been working, and now the people are realizing that what we are doing is making sense. Right? So that's why we're not all about, oh, GNC is doing it. No, we have been working. And today, the people themselves are recipients of what is happening. You know, so I really thank God for this situation. And I know GBN has always been a partner with us. I'm not seeing other radio stations, but at least GBN has always reached out to us in whatever way. And I mean, having one of our own on GBN gives us all that we had on us sometimes, but at the end of the day, you know, by the end of the day, but you know, the initiatives are so wonderful.
Mr. John, I'm stopping here.
Yeah, right, okay, sorry.
Go working hard in GBN.
I just be hard on, I'm not saying
why
you
hard on Rena?
I just be hard on.
Rena said, let's get buff up.
That's
okay. Mr. John, I think I need to have a conversation with you. Why are you buffing up the girl?
Yeah, and you know, if you look at Rena, I mean, I look at Rena and, you know, to get where she is. When I say she's getting, I couldn't be there because of the timing, but it was just a joyful moment, you know. Somebody came to be so depressed that there is no hope for me out there to reach at this point. I think it takes initiative to help others realize I can do the same. And these, I mean, when you see people like this and we see the stories that so untold, that as an individual, you said, no, if these people can do something, I can do something too. And this is what we're looking for, the positivity. And we are seeing now that what we are doing with the advocacy and everything, people are now coming and say, let's do that. This is not a situation for us to be complacent, but to take this and move to the next level.
And as we take this and move to the next level, Mr. Alexander, let's look at our formal education system. What can we do? Where do we need to go to make sure that we enable these people? We have a story that we'll go to just now about Ishana Charles. But let's look at the Tylers. In my head, I have to confess, and these things are therapeutic, that I'm looking at all the wheelchairs and I'm like, but you know, 10 years ago I would have thought that maybe Tyler belonged in a wheelchair. So I have been, my ignorance has been further corrected this evening to know, no. Tyler could spin around 3 times more than you could. So our formal education system is you in it. How do we change and move forward?
Well, in terms of giving them more opportunities, as a matter of fact, J.W. Fletcher welcomes Tyler. We do not look at his as a matter of fact, we can use the term inability, but he just fit in well with the system, and I believe giving persons that kind of opportunity to interface in the regular school, it's a positive. Additionally, in terms of teachers, we know the training to deal with, because I always say, if you do not like to deal with people, you should not be in teaching, because there's a thin line between, let's say, destroying somebody's future as against making their future. And just by what you say and what you do, you can change your life. So my thing is to continue to give them the opportunity. As a matter of fact, I know at our institution we have had students coming from the school in the Limes, and you will not know where they came from based on how they are performing within the institution. And all we have to do now is to give them the opportunity. I am happy that in Tyler's case, he's welcome, he's loved by all. You saw in the video where he's playing with the girls. So he fits in well, and this is what makes life interesting. This is what it is. Just give these people an opportunity.
Yeah. And you mentioned the students coming from school in the Limes, and I think that's one of the stories I'm hoping that we don't run out of time, that we'd like to share with the common entrance students from Victoria who made it big. And I mean, I was very impressed with the passion displayed by that teacher who went to home and supported her. So hopefully we don't run out of time. I really would like to have that story in the lineup. This is Beyond the Headlines. We take a commercial break. We'll continue with the untold stories on the other side.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Glenlec, we are united even when we are apart.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
You're already ill and have no time or energy to walk every which way to access your healthcare needs. So come to Spice Isle Imaging on the Carenage for a one-spot stop for all your health service needs. See our in-house doctor and get your meds from the pharmacy right on location. Digital X-ray, MRI, CT scans, mammography, ultrasound, and laboratory services are also available. So for that moment when life makes demands on you, you can make demands on us. Visit us at Spice Isle Imaging, Carenage, St. George's.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. This evening we're shining lights in the darkness. We're going into those corners that, people probably would just ignore. We call them the nooks and the crannies. We're telling untold stories, success stories, positive stories this evening. And we want to do something on the academic side. Coming out of before we went to break, Mr. Alexander was talking about, he sees students coming from the School for Special Education. It's located at the Limes Grandans, and they really do well. We have such a bright story coming out of St. Mark's. Trelawnna Charles covered that one. Let's replay.
12-year-old Aliyah Langine of the Victoria School for Special Education is the first student to ever write the CPEA examinations from the institution, and she was victorious. When the new school year begins in September, the walls of the St. Rose Modern Secondary School will be her place of learning. Principal Judian All said Aliyah came to the school at 8 years old, and seeing her potential, they have been working with her on a one-on-one basis until she was was ready to sit the exams.
We saw she had potential. It's just that there were some barriers to attending the curriculum because of her challenges. So we would have been working with her on a one-on-one basis, and we felt that she was at the point where she would be able to write the exam now and be successful. So that is why we offered her the opportunity to do so.
But how did the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on schools island-wide affect Aaliyah's preparation?
Well, that was a challenge because we would have had, during COVID, I would have had to visit her home personally to work along with her, and then there were times I would have had to take her with me at my home too, so that I can work with her, because it was a challenge. She had no devices, no means of getting on to internet or so at the time. So online learning was not an option for her. So we had to do it face-to-face, even throughout the COVID period.
According to ALD, every student, regardless of challenges, deserves a chance at an education. She said Aaliyah will continue to have her support throughout her secondary education journey.
I am prepared to provide the services for her to continue supporting her throughout secondary education, because I know that she will definitely need the accommodations and support. So the plan going forward is to work closely with the secondary school to ensure that she gets the support that she needs.
Her teacher, Sasha Alexander, said Aaliyah was determined and worked hard to be prepared for the exam.
We worked hard. When she came in January, although we were on a shift system, she came in every day, and after school she stayed. We did extra work with her, and so on. Her success has motivated the other students in the class. I would definitely say I know that they are all ready, and I know next year they want to participate in the CPA exams as well.
Aaliyah shared her favorite part of the examination and her plans for the future.
Science. To be a pilot.
To be a pilot?
Yeah, to drive a plane.
Trelawna Charles, GBN News.
Great hopes and aspirations. She wants to be a pilot, and then we have Tyler wanting to be a NEMA. Mr. Alexander, so teachers probably saying, you see, we deserve our 10%. We deserve our 4%. Because we saw that teacher and principal saying she would go to her home to help us. So
it's priceless. It's priceless. I mean, being a teacher, the greater reward is to see the success and that child going forward. I mean, being a teacher, I feel elated that she has been given an opportunity to go forth. And even teachers pledging to continue. I think generally that is the temperament of teachers. Even if you have graduation and students move on, you still want to find out or look into what is next for them. And that's what makes teaching interesting.
Yeah. Rena, tell me about your experience with teachers at the primary and secondary level. Did they reach out to you? Did some of them shy away, not sure how to handle you?
I must say that teachers like Mr. Alexander is gems, to be honest, because believe me, persons with disabilities sometimes, especially children, when they're in a new environment and learning something new, it becomes hard for them at times. And finding that teacher who would sit and have that patience to sit down with them and give them that attention, it means a lot to them because it motivates them to know that they have somebody who believes in them. And sometimes they don't have that level of support home because the parent might have other children that may need that help, so persons like Mr. Alexander is, I can say, wonderful teachers because you play a big role in our lives. And I know that there were two particular teachers in my time, primary level. I can say that in primary school, I didn't like school. I'm going to say that honestly, it's because of the bullying and stuff, and I hated classes. And when I didn't pass common entrance the first time, I was devastated, and I thought, nothing, I'm not getting there. And Mr. George, he drives number 6 over the hills bus now. He was the one who actually had me stay back in school. I don't know what he saw, but he saw something, and he was like, you have to stay back in school. And at first I didn't I didn't want to, but then when he pushed me, and when I realized I was coming first and second in his class, I was like, I could make it, you know, and that kind of pushed me and then motivated me, and that brought me up to a better opportunity in life.
So to some of the students out there, Rena, who their stories have not been told, like a Lishon or like a Tyler, you have a story that you're telling. What do you want to say to them? I have to say too that, you know, your name would come up in conversations as your boss. People would like, so how come you hired a girl? How come you hired Rena? I remember one person saying, Ms. Campbell, how you hired a girl in school? We used to call her chicken hand. That's the first time I'm telling you that. I don't come and tell you these things, but
that's the name.
That's the name?
That is the
chicken
name.
hand is what they called you. And how did that make you feel?
I used to cry about it. Cry every day. Locke was, I mean, I had parents that loved me, and I still have my dad. I'm his little princess, and they would give me as much love as I want. But I'm telling you honestly, there were times I would cry and their love just wouldn't be enough, because it's hard, and you need that sort of, you know, to go to school every day and have somebody teasing you. People would say, oh, by now you should get used to it. You would never get used to being bullied or being teased. I'm telling you, even if it might not be as difficult, you know, you wouldn't feel as hurt, but you would feel that little prick in your heart. It's never easy. And, you know, children out there or students out there, or when I see children having the opportunity, person with disability having the opportunity, like that young lady, to go to secondary school, I'm excited, but I'm also saddened, because sometimes I feel the stress I know, the pain I know I go through, it'll be hard for them, you know, it's difficult, and I really hope that they have their support. But when I see somebody like Mr. Alexander, you know, there, it still gives me a light to show there are teachers out there or people out there who would actually see beyond what they look like and give them that time.
Yeah. Chris, did they call you Ras? And how did that make you feel, if they did? Because, and I'm asking you that from the perspective, I see Kataka Mawuto, our very good media friend, talking about how he was teased, and, you know, they always feel that they're picked on. So, and one day I want you to show the locks, I've seen it in photographs and it's amazing.
You're always after me.
I want to see those locks.
Everybody would be in awe if I were to let it down.
I saw a photograph, I was like, oh!
Yeah.
What was it like in school with your locks?
No, I did not have locks in school. I twisted my hair in school in a locks form, but I grew my locks after I left school. You know, when I became an adult out of school, and so I'm the first Rasta in my family. So I would say from that perspective, it was hard for them to accept, because, you know, back then Rasta was stigmatized. You know, it was not accepted as perhaps now people have a better understanding that you're a person. You know, I'm not putting you in a kind of bracket by yourself. So.
You're a Ras, you're not a person.
I mean, calling me Ras is just a shortened form of being a Rastafarian, you know. And I didn't feel a way about nobody calling me Ras, because, you know, when they say Ras, you would quick turn around. I know you wouldn't turn around. You know, it's a means of specifying who I'm speaking to, you know, and I must say my mom was not really accepting of that. She was the person who burst off my first strand of locks. And I really held it against her, to be honest, for years. And I told her I put it in an envelope, and I told her, you know, I'll remember you on Judgment Day with this. But I still gotten rid of it, and I forgave her.
I think we have a complete beyond the headlines right there. We have a complete beyond the headlines right there. We're running out of time quickly, but I want to be certain to share another untold story, Ishana Charles. Let's go to that one.
It is another untold story that is jumping off the canvas, this time in the sport of swimming, as history is again being created in Grenada. The story of Ishana Charles is on its way to becoming well known, and she is now joined by a female para-athlete swimmer. With a huge captivating smile, 20-year-old Naya Cruikshank says she is delighted to fulfill one of her childhood dreams, competing in an international swim meet.
I'm very thankful for the opportunity. It's been years and years. I've always wanted to do this, and finally I am here. And I want to thank Coach Natalie and Coach Charles and everybody that put the work in to get me to where I am today.
She says as a 7-year-old, she remembered losing her left leg as a result of cancer, and swimming became a passion.
When I lost my leg to cancer, I didn't want to be treated any different. So I I didn't really care what anybody said, and I just did it because I wanted to, and I could do it.
In Louisville, Nae will participate in the classification events, which will determine the category of events she is eligible to compete in, while competing alongside athletes with similar disabilities. Following the classification, Cruikshank will compete in the freestyle, butterfly, and possible 400 meters events. The championship brings together leading swimmers in the USA and other countries who are endeavoring to classify and meet the standards for qualification in the Summer Paralympic Games in Tokyo, Japan in August and September. Impressing on how strongly Nae is supported by her family, President of the Grenada Paralympics Committee, Ray Roberts, says it is a historical moment as they venture into a new era of parasports in Grenada.
We are now venturing into a second phase with our swimmer, Nae Cruikshank. And I want to place on record our sincere gratitude to Nae's parents, in particular her grandparents.
Coach Natalie Regis says Nae is ready for the challenge despite the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions and protocols that limited her preparations.
I would say training with Nae, I have to say with Nae, because sometimes I do jump in the pool with her because she's such an inspiration, not just for me on deck with her, but all the other coaches who have worked with her in the past. Everyone she meets, everyone who encounters Nae, they're always curious and asking, how is this child able to do all of this? And it is an inspiration, and I hope that everyone else who sees what she does over the next few days is inspired with her, just her entire bubbly personality, her never ever give up approach towards her training has been an inspiration for me.
Although Grenada has participated in the Summer Olympics beginning in the 1984 Games in Los Angeles, it is yet to debut in the Paralympics, which follow the Summer Olympic Games. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
All right, another interesting one. Nae Cruikshank coming off of Ishana Charles at the Paralympics. Mr. John, who's taking that? You or Mr. Alexander?
Well, I just want to say something on that part, and when we was talking a while ago. When you look at what happens to where we are presently, is a lack of education. I believe from a council, I always advocate. I don't think we do enough. Because at least if you go to schools, for instance, children are the challenge. But if your child looks up and know that there is someone standing for them, there is hope. And I believe that we can do more and reach out more. And what we are planning is, we're looking and we met as a board and decided to say, listen, what we need to do, for instance, people are, that challenge in some area, we can offer, speak to the teachers. How do you treat people like that? How do you deal with them? It's not that they have to be separated, but they might need just an extra special attention. Like I need sign language, teachers sign language. I was privileged to saw a situation in town with a police officer, and he was telling somebody, well, you're standing and the person can't even hear what's going on. He was not even in a position to identify that there was a challenge. And they had the arrogance. It's like, move from there, this and the person So I'm just saying, we see an opportunity where we can go to the police force or go to even doctors sometime, and let them know, listen, the people are coming to you, have different challenges. This is how you treat them. This is how you deal with it. So they can respond to you as an individual. Because you can just tell me, move from there, I will, but somebody that cannot hear, what do you do? And because we don't have these things where they need to be, the children feel that there is no one standing for them, the people that have the challenge, So I believe as an organization, we need to shift. We need to look to see what it is that we could, because we actually take care of a certain sector of people. And yes, there are other things out there, but we must first be responsible for who we are taking care of before we can go to the next level. So I believe if we have spent some time as a board and as an organization sitting and say, what can we do? What can we do to help? To reach the people that can also help us to really carry out what we are doing. And when we look at this situation here, there are so many opportunities for the people. You see it on the other side of the world. Well, why can't it be here? What it is that prevents it to be here, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, these are great opportunities, and even the coaches and the teachers and everyone that stand. But I believe as an organization, and the different organizations, for where we stand, I think we can do more in terms of advocacy, in terms of training, in terms of education, that people is knowledgeable, that there are people in the midst of us that have challenges, and they just need an extra care to say, you are with us till we're going. And I believe if we offer that on a wider scope, we'll be a better organization.
Excellent. We're looking ahead. Christlina, I see you nodding.
Yeah, I second what Mr. John just said. You know, perhaps a little more education and perhaps people in the different institutions looking out and knowing that everybody is not at the same level, and we ought to meet them at the level where they're at.
As we get ready to wrap it up this evening, Rena, from the GNCD perspective, because you're a board member, you're not just some reporter at the GBN, board member of GNCD, what strides you're looking forward to Grenada making in terms of advocating for persons who are differently abled?
I think at this point right now, we just need to start from a young age. So as Mr. John said, we talk about educating people, and I believe if you teach the younger children now that it's okay to be different, and persons who are different doesn't mean that they're not able to do things, then further on in the future we would see how things would get better, because these children would be the employers tomorrow, would be persons in organizations tomorrow, and when they understand at a young age that it's okay to be different, then in the future we would see that there would not be a problem when it comes to accepting persons with disability.
And you know, Mr. Alexander, a thought that just crossed my mind is that whenever we're choosing our feature speakers for graduation ceremonies, we have all the able-bodied persons, but now I'm thinking next year, J.W. Fletcher, I'm sending out a message to my good friend there, the principal, that probably Rena Pierre should be the feature speaker. Mr. Alexander, you second the motion?
It's on the card.
It's on the card. It's on the card, Miss B, it's on the card. Yeah, because this is a very profound point that Rena has made, that somebody needs to let or differently abled people know that it is possible. Like the Obamas would say, it is possible. So, Mr. Alexander, you want to say something to Grenada as we wrap up this evening. What are your thoughts?
Well, we never know where we can end up as able-bodied persons, and whatever good deed we can do to reach out to community, and really and truly persons with what we call inability, physically challenged, in whatever way we can bring a smile to them, in whatever way we can give them a little exposure. I must thank GBN and Christlina. Since we did the Lishon story, she has, if she doesn't know, she has become a very good friend of mine, because when I have these stories, she's the first person I will go to, because I think she does a very good job. I always commend her on her stories. Sorry. But at the same time, we never know where we can end up, and whatever difference we can make within our community, I think we should, whatever support can be given to the less fortunate, physically challenged persons, I think we can do that. And I know for myself, I will always pledge towards helping others.
Excellent note to end on. Always pledge toward helping others. And I think that's where we put a wrap on tonight's program, Untold Stories. It's been a very emotionally stimulating time. Looking back at some of the stories, you see something once, and then when you see it again, there's another side that you didn't see before. And I'd like to thank the entire team here at the GBN. Again, we salute our camera woman extraordinaire. There's not another one like her in the world, Bernadette Cornell Celestine, because a lot of times the reporters get the credit, but the person behind the camera who really helped to propel those stories doesn't get recognized. I want to thank the panel this evening. Rena Pierre, she's reporter-producer at the GBN, one of our most productive citizens here. Christlina John, she's a little bit troublesome at times. You go to the newsroom and you say a word in English, and then you realize, what? I didn't say that. But she's our dearly beloved. Campbell loves her. Campbell, good night. We'll see what we could do toward getting the proposal. Do like Rena did, probably. Anybody else in the picture, I'm sorry, you know, I'm just looking out for our client. She said she has a client, so I'm helping to look out for the GBN client by extension. Mr. Clifford John of the GNCD, a special thank you. And Mr. Glen Alexander, teacher extraordinaire, community activist, thank you so much. God bless your heart. God bless your soul. To all of you who follow the GBN News and you have in multitudinal ways contributed to the various causes highlighted through our reports, GBN says from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. John Crow, who's helping the GNCD in New York, people assisted the GoFundMe page. To all of our citizens everywhere, we had somebody from France calling to see what they could do to assist Lishon. Thank you so much wherever you're listening or following us from this evening. Mike Alexis, Darius Slocum, Kellen Batista, and others on the technical side. General McDonald, who helps us with coordination from time to time. I'm Odette Campbell saying, God bless us. God bless the GBN. God bless Grenada. So long for now. I'll see you again next Monday. Thanks, everybody. Tucked away in the nooks and crannies of Grenada, waiting to be told. GBN digs deep, uncovers the untold stories. We are GBN, covering Grenada's untold stories.